Greetings and welcome to One Spiritual Love, Spirituality in a Modern World. I'm Reverend Dr. Winnie Lewis, DDIV, PhD, Certified Reiki Practitioner, Certified Master Life Coach, HEB Doctor in Trilogy, 25 years of college, and 22 certificates and degrees. Doctor in Trilogy, I have 2 doctor degrees, I'm working on the 3rd. HEB is Highly Enlightened Being. Today is 7/4/2023, setting the stage. Instead of greetings, I will now use Sanskrit Namaste. Instead of welcome, I will now use in Sanskrit Gurda. Namaste and Gurda to One Spiritual Love, Spirituality in a Modern World. I am vegan lifestyle in plant-based foods. Vegan comes from the Vedas that come from India. Veda means lifestyle, and vegan is one of the lifestyles. Kosher comes from Hebrew root kosher, which means to be pure, proper, or suitable for consumption. The word comes from kosher dietary that are found in the Quran, Jewish book of sacred text. Kosher is Jewish lifestyle, which means vegan lifestyle and plant-based foods is kosher for my being. Your body is your temple. It's a give and take energy. Give and take energy is a life force energy. And you would know this if you were a Reiki practitioner like me. Basically, you are a conduit. The universe sends the energy through you because you are a conduit of energy. You place your hands on the patient, shoulders, neck, whatever. You pull out the toxins. It goes into your being, which then goes back into the universe. So you are a conduit that are sending the energy. The energy is coded messages. Now, you set the stage of your lifestyle in your soul contract in past lives to create future lifetimes. You are a powerful being that uses life force energy in each lifetime. The coagulation of energy. The mission is your purpose to conquer the 4 quadrants of nutrition of self. Coagulation means liquid into solid, a series of chemical reactions. 4 quadrants are the 4 quadrants in nutrition. That is the nutrition you put in your mind, the nutrition you put in your body, the nutrition you put in your emotion, the nutrition you put in your spirit. 4 quadrants of nutrition. To create chemical reaction, you, self, will learn to teach the fundamental mechanics that are the particles that are part of the whole. Particles, the keys are the questions, which are the codes, and is coded messages. Part is the equations that are the answers, which are the doors that they are the answers. Whole, enlightenment, which is whole being. You are energy that is holographic. Your energy swims in infinity. You are a creator. You move the energy in and of infinity through the life force energy. There is no beginning. There is no end. There is no past. There is no future. It is the moment in time, space, and mass matter. And remember, 5D, 5th dimension, is on a different time zone than we are on Earth in 3D, 3rd dimension. It is this moment in time, space, mass matter that you, self, create life force energy through the ethers and become holographic. As you become holographic, you are creating the time sequence in the timeline that is an energy coagulation. You are self, self creates. That is 1D, 1 dimension, 1. Self creates dualistic nature. That is 2D, 2nd dimension, 2. Self creates 3D, 3rd dimension. That is trilogy. Heaven, earth, man, so on and so forth. That is trilogy. Yeah, okay, this is my rosary. I got a lot of them hanging. It's like, what are you going to do with your necklaces when you live in a small space? You hang them up. You hang them on the little racks there when you open stuff. You know, you gotta hang them somewhere, right? Self creates the 4 quadrants. That is 4D, 4th dimension. 4. Self creates the 5 points. That is 5D, 5th dimension. Self creates 6 points in the time sequence on the timeline. That's number 6. As self creates more numbers in the time sequence on the timeline, self creates time, space, and mass matter. Time, space, and mass matter is brought forth into 3D, 3rd dimension. Earth's physical realm of the human 5 senses. That is the fight or flight. That is the primordial body of being in fight or flight mechanism of eat or be eaten. That is 3D, 3rd dimension. That is the form of brainwashing. Don't you love it? Now, soul contracts are contracts with self in past, present, future. Self creates particles, and particles are the details. Self creates part, and part is adding and subtracting particles. Self creates whole, and whole is the whole being. Particles are part of the whole. It is the trilogy in 3D, 3rd dimension. Everything is mathematical calculation. I'm an HEB Doctor in trilogy. HEB means highly enlightened being. I was born with all of God's 5 gifts. I have learned to perfect my birth skills. It is my birthright. I have 2 doctor degrees and working on my 3rd doctor degree. Levels of awareness of energy. Step 1, Metaphysical Healing Art 101 workshop. Baby steps in changing your motif through the 4 quadrants in nutrition. That is the fundamental mechanics. Fundamental mechanics are the baby steps. Fundamental mechanics in 3D, 3rd dimension. So you're learning the baby steps in each dimension. That's how it works. Step 2, Metaphysical Healing Art 201 workshop. 1 + 2 = 3. 1, knowing what you want. 4 quadrants in manifesting energy. Seek, find, conquer, move on. 2 equals path traveled to get what you want. You always get what you want, but not how you want it, unless you're specific in what you want. And the specific are the details, which are the particles. 3 is the end result. 1 + 2 = 3. Transcending the transparencies in cosmic consciousness, 5 elements transcending through 5 senses in 3D, 3rd dimension is 5 + 5 + 3 = 4. In numerology, you then bring all double digits, triple digits to single digits. That's how you do numerology. You break them all down except for 11, 22, and 33. Those are sacred prime numbers in spirituality. 33 is Jesus Christ. Now, I was born in Western numerology. I was born a 4. That's work. In the Kabbalah numerology, I was born a 6, which is appropriate because my birthday is 6663. Now, I was born with the vibrational number of 5. I am the mother, father, energy, male and female energy. 5 is balance. So I was born 4, 5, 6. Now, when you understand that the left side of the human body is female energy, that is a 6. The right side of the body is male energy, that's a 3. The front of the body is for giving, the back of the body is for receiving. The whole being is a number 6 because your aura goes 3 feet out from your body on the left and 3 feet out from the body on your right. So your whole being is a number 9. That is the void. You go from 369, and that is the whole being. These are the particles that are part of the whole. You see where I'm going with this? Okay, now, step 4. Step 3, Metaphysical Healing Art 301 Workshop 3D, Third Dimension in Time, Space, Mass, Matter. Creating in Trilogy. Creating Trilogy in Infinity. Now, infinity is butterfly wings. Center is you. Center is 0. Now, in the tarot, you have the Fool. The Fool is 0. Before manifestation. You are 0. As you're creating through creation because you are a creative being. You are not the creator, you are a creator. You're creating your lifestyle in each lifetime. Number 4, Step 4, Metaphysical Healing Art 401 Workshop. And just a side note, the tarot cards and crystals, everything else in the occult, these are just tools for divination. That, simply put, those are particles. Everyone has particles. You get to choose which particle to create your lifestyle. Pretty simple. Step 4, Metaphysical Healing Art 401 Workshop, Transcending the Transparencies and Cosmic Consciousness of 4D, Fourth Dimension. Remember, in 3D, Third Dimension, in the emotion, in the moment in time, in Earth's physical realm of the human 5 senses. 5 senses because of above Earth, above Earth's physical realm, because you're in 5D, 5th dimension. You're bringing it forward to 3D, 3rd dimension. Step 5, Metaphysical Healing Art 501 Workshop, Quadratic Equations of Quantum Physics of 5D, 5th dimension. As I'm learning, I am teaching. As I'm teaching, I am learning. This is what beings do in dualistic nature in 3D, 3rd dimension. Dualistic nature is 2D, 2 dimension. Heaven, hell, black, white, good, bad, the whole 9. This is what we call brainwashing. Thank you very much. Catch up. That means 1 plus 2, 3D, 3rd dimension. That means 1 plus 2 plus 3, etc., etc. Because self is creating the time sequence on the timeline in time, space, and mass matter. I'm a metaphysician, non-drug practitioner. The universal laws are in your DNA. You have past life genes in your DNA. You access your DNA through the chemical compounds. The chemical compounds you create. It is a mathematical calculation in blueprint in 5D, 5th dimension. You are 0 on the timeline that is center point in infinity. You are the Fool in the tarot cards. Start with a ruler. The number 12. The 12 numbers are your karmic credits. The hash marks in between the numbers are the karmic debts. The 4 bodies of being means mind, body, emotion, spirit that create the core being. Core being is the soul. The soul is the teacher to the spirit that is the student. The spirit is the teacher that is to the human that is the student. Self must go through the in-between, the core being. The increments are the hash marks on the timeline that you create. When you go in between, the core being, you are doing infinity because you're in the center point. Your energy is traveling through the portals. Those are the little hash marks that you are creating your lifestyle. Now, as you're traveling through the portals, you pick up baggage along the way, and those are called residuals. It's the boomerang effect. That's how you get karmic debt and karmic credit. It's all laid out. It's all in a blueprint, and it's really easy to decipher the codes if you've been doing it all your life like me. It's pretty easy. It's like for a Gemini, it's like mental gymnastics. Let's put the puzzle pieces together. This is so much fun. This is what life is about. You're learning how to decipher the codes that are puzzle pieces, which are particles that are part of the whole. Okay, now, as self travels through ethers of holograph, through the different dimensions that are a continuous flow of life force energy, blueprints are created. The mind is 5D fifth dimension. The brain is 3D third dimension. Self learns and teaches self the fundamental mechanics of traveling through the portals between waking state and dream state. When self has accomplished waking state and sleep state into one state of being, it is one moment in time. That is when self lives in the whole state of being. And life is love, love is life. Blessing from Reverend Dr. Winnie Lewis, DDIV, HEB Doctor and Trilogy, and thank you for your support. Now that is what I typed up this morning before I was going to do a speaking engagement. Now the fact remains that I basically lost 7 years of my life. I'm regaining my life back because I am recreating, rebirthing, and reincarnating each and every day. There's no such thing as yesterday or tomorrow. Your past in the infinity is your left. Your future is your right. You are creating this moment in time. You must go through the ethers in the hologram to create your motif, which I do each and every day. And as you do this, you learn there are certain particles you need in your lifetime. There are certain particles you want in your lifetime. The key is what you want. The universe will give you what you want, but they give you in a form of a need. Because there are many spiritual beings in the spirit realm. Now, years ago, I wrote my book. It was basically my 3 college papers: master's, doctorate degree, and my PhD. I then put it together and put it in a book. Otherwise, it was going to sit on the shelf and collect dust. So I put it in the book. I put it on Amazon. The Infinity of Infinite Self, Reconnecting Mind, Body, Emotion, Spirit into one love, which is self-love. And then they say bring it down because it's hard to interpret coded messages. I've been doing since the day I was born, so it's pretty simple how to read the messages and how to interpret that. Like if you were an Egyptologist, you're actually going to work in one day of college, walk into a pyramid or a cave, look at the pictograph and chicken scratch. The pictograph are the pictures. The chicken scratch is, imagine there's a chicken on the ground and it's doing this business. Well, that business is actually another culture's language in numeric and alpha. You look at the pictograph and the chicken scratch. You learn how to decipher the coded messages that are brought to you through the metaphors and symbologies from the spirit realm. That's how it works. You are learning to be deciphering the codes. And ology is the study of. You have psychology, sociology, anthropology, mythology. All the ologies are the study of. I wanted to be an epistemologist. That's the study of knowledge. Then I thought, well, no, I want to be a primatologist because that would have took too long. A primatologist is studying primates. So before I did that, I thought, well, why would I waste the money on college loans and worry about paying all that back? Who needs that extra stuff? You have to try out first what it is that you're going to do. So I became a primate caretaker. After 6 months, I decided I don't want to be a primatologist. This is not what I wanted to do. So other lessons in life They teach you to grow in personal growth. And as you do that, you're creating the increments in your DNA for your next life. And that knowledge comes from common knowledge in the spirit realm. This is where your soul is. Your soul collects the information from your spirit. Your brain, body, emotion, trilogy sends all that energy in and of energy to your spirit. Your spirit is then the way station that sends the information to your soul. 5, that is the 5 points that you learn how to decipher the codes through the particles that are part of the whole. As you do this, you understand how to reconnect to yourself through mind, body, emotion, spirit into one love, self-love. And the 5th is pure love. When you're in 3D, third dimension, you are in one moment in time. You are in brainwashing of conditional and unconditional love in 3D, third dimension. This is brainwashing. Pure love comes from 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D dimensions. It's the different dimensions. When you learn how to decipher the codes, you learn pure love. You connect with self. 5 points. Now, in some realms, they call that the Star of David. These are the 5 points. Now, after I wrote my book, The Infinity of Infinite Self, people tell me to bring it down. Bring it down. So I did Fragmentology 5 in 1, and you can find it on Amazon, just like the book Infinity of Infinite Self. Reverend Dr. Juanita Lewis, PhD. In there, I bring it down simple because this is a children's book, but they tell me it's still too high. It's college level. So I'm doing the best I can. Because I say one sentence, it's technically 3 paragraphs. So it's taken years to bring it down even more and more and more. So this particular video is bringing it down. Not quite sure how far down I've been, but it's bringing it so you can see the mathematical equation. Because you're seeing numbers, which are the metaphors and symbologies through the pictograph and the chicken scratch. So you're learning how to connect the 5 points to create your lifestyle. That's what all this is about. Now, as you find tools of the trade that are creating your lifestyle, first you know what you want. And born through common knowledge, which is thousands of years ago knowledge in the past and thousands of years ago knowledge in the future, it's all one knowledge. You see yourself as separate. You have to begin to understand through the fundamental mechanics all is one, because you are one with all is one with you. The chemical compounds are the DNA within the protons, neutrons, and all that, within each particle on Earth landscape existence. These are what is a tree made of. Those particles then create paper. That paper is a particle. That particle is what you're using to create communication. So that particle becomes part of you because you both have the same DNA, just in a different form. That's why everything is one. When you're looking at something, you're actually looking at yourself, no matter if it is a person, place, or thing. And the separation began when someone thought that they wanted to play God. They want to take control. When they take control, which is usually a big business. Big businesses are nonprofit. Nonprofit is religion and government. No matter what landscape you live in, on what part of Earth, longitude and latitude, this is fact. Fact is brains over bronze or bronze over brains. This stimulates from cave person day, caveman and cavewoman. Brains over bronze or bronze over brains. Just like your job is your life or your life is your job. Do you create your job or does your job create you? That's how you look how to go in between. You're going in between your mind. You're going in between your emotion. You're going in between to see truth. Truth is center. Human eyeballs see. But to see truth is third eye chakra. All beings on earth, whether you're a beetle, a tree, or whatever, you have all three eyeballs. Humans hear with human ears. Your whole being listens. When you pray, you're talking to God. When you meditate, you communicate with God. It's a whole nother ballgame. The more that you do this, the more you can learn to decipher the codes of metaphors and symbologies of your lifestyle. Of is above, you're bringing it to you. Center point is third eye chakra. That is the center point of the T, which is truth. Because you're connecting from truth, your heart. Heart has a mind of its own. You're connecting to the T for truth. Now I just think it's really fun because I see energy. I see auras. I see chakras. Your aura is your emotional body of being that goes through the portals, which are the chakras. So they're like horns out of particular points in your being. You have 7 chakras in your body. You have 7 chakras in your emotion. You have 7 chakras in your mind, 7 chakras in your spirit. So you have 28 chakras. And in numerology, 28 equals 1. 1 is self. 1 is being. You are center point of infinity. You get to keep playing the game until you stop. You meditate. You learn how to slow all this stuff down because you got the monkey mind. You have to center yourself. You don't just see the forest. You see the tree in the forest. You focus. You center yourself. The body follows whatever the mind tells it to. If your mind is in a muck, which is the negative energy, the dust, particles, everything in life that you presume is there, you in turn take on that energy. You then create the energy of the vibrational vibration within your emotion, which then you ignite through the 5 elements, air, earth, fire, water, wood. As you ignite this, it ignites your being through the chakras. And the more emotion you have, the farther you bring it down to the bottom. Jugular theory is id, self, subconscious. You have the different levels of consciousness. Now there are other theories out there depending upon what type of healer you are. You can go to different places around the world and your healer's going to be a shaman, a yogi. I'm a metaphysician. I'm a one-stop shop, meaning I have 4 businesses. And as you pop into one of my businesses, you can then accumulate the information you need for your being in order to enlighten your being, to get out of the muck of the first level, the first aura in your first chakra, because you want to move up to number 7. As you move up, you become a much more enlightened being. In spirit is in spiritual. That's how that works. I've been told over the years that I teach the way Jesus Christ did, and it blows me away when people say this stuff. It's like, that's not how I see myself. Other people I talk to, and they will be like, you're a genius. I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect that. That's not what I see. So you have to learn how to become the observer and the observee at the same time. The observer is you're documenting your findings. It's like an anthropologist. As you're documenting, you are in a culture. You don't have an opinion. You document the textiles, the foods, the smells, everything. This is your research. As you become a much more enlightened being, you learn to become the observee. So you're observing yourself while you're observing whatever it is you're observing. So you're seeing the dualistic nature. The only way to do this is you are activating the left and the right hemisphere of the brain simultaneously at one moment in time to become a whole being. You see? That's how that works. I tell my mom all the time. I go, see how easy it is? And she goes, in your world. She's, like she catches bits and pieces. Most people do catch bits and pieces. That's why always at the beginning, I may or may not have said it. Technically, you need paper and pencil. Write down what I say because it's a teachable moment that you will need in future time of your life. I tell my mom certain things, and I tell her because she will need this in the future. She'll go to the doctor, and the doctor, he will then say, blah, blah, blah. She comes home and says, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing you told me yesterday. I said, well, yeah, he's going to tell you this and this. So you got to pay money for a doctor when I'm just told you something for free. I see it. I see the energy. That means that I read the being, the toxins, what level your energy is, in what chakras. I can see and read thoughts. This is all what a highly enlightened being sees. My advisor in college had told me when I was writing my thesis, this is not a how-to. I thought, you want it? You got it. I wrote it down, and at the end she wrote in the letter when she gave me my degree of my PhD, you have a beautiful mind and a few millennial beyond most human beings. A millennial is 1,000 years. Now, I collect the information of past lifetimes of thousands of years. That is common knowledge. Common knowledge is to the right, because it's the future self. Practical down-to-earth common sense is 3D third dimension. That is past life. That is to the left. Your left is your past, your right is your future. That you are creating simultaneously in self. You keep going around infinity. You're creating the butterfly. In spirituality, winged creatures, dragonflies, butterflies, hummingbirds, whatever's going on, just let it go. That's 4 quadrants of when you reach conquer. Because you let the toxins come in, you learn how to associate what's going on through the 4 quadrants. Seek, find, conquer, move on. So it goes in one and out the other. It goes through the portals. Fun, fun, fun. Now, from time to time, just for fun, I pull the tarot cards. I don't read things like everyone else does. I see things differently. I can sketch a chair upside down and turn it right side up, and it's exactly the way the chair was if it was standing. I see it differently. Your eyeballs look through, and as it's looking through, it regulates in your brain the other hemisphere, and that's what I see. I see the center point. That's how I interpret things. Now, they told me when I was young I was a slow learner and I had dyslexia. Okay. So from time to time it comes back. After testing, they said, well, you must have learned how to work through it in college because you don't have it anymore. From time to time, I still do. I'll see numbers and I'll transpose the numbers. I'll see words and I transpose the words. So a lot of times when I'm speaking, I can actually create a new word because I've just created from 2 different words and made 1 word. It's pretty easy to do. Now, as I pulled the tarot cards today, the right is the future, the left is the past, the center is this moment in time. Now, the center of Tarot of the Ages is, and since I'm not really familiar with the meanings, I just know if they're good, bad, or otherwise. That's how I read tarot. Now, this is the King of Swords. Now, I'm still learning, as with all things. There's many, things that I'm still learning because it gives me different messages. Different messages create different atmospheres. Perception is perceiving one's own truth. You got 20 people standing on a corner, all in different areas. Their perception is what they see at that moment in time. So you're going to get maybe 18, 19 different perceptions of perceiving. It's what they've perceived, how the accident happened on this particular time of the day or in this particular quadrant of Earth's physical realm. Perception is perceiving one's own truth. One is you, self. Truth is center point of T, is truth. Your heart knows truth. You are living on the outside in brainwashing, in the muck. To be able to see the truth, you have to get out of the muck. Transcend the transparencies of cosmic consciousness. Transcending, you're going through the portals. Transparencies is the veil over the eyes of past and future. It's a fog. Transcend the transparencies of cosmic consciousness. Cosmic consciousness comes from 5D, 5th dimension. You have to learn how to coagulate each chemical compound. To go through each, there are 5 levels of chemical compounds. 5. You go through the portals, which then you reach 5D, 5th dimension. Now, we have King of Swords. King of Swords, I would then write a lot of stuff down, and I want 1 word. What does this one thing mean in 1 word? Okay? Swords. King is usually a mature male. You've got the Queen is a mature woman. You got the Page, that is a young male. So you have different humanoids in the astrology, in the tarot cards. That is particular energy. Because someone is king does not necessarily mean that it is an older gentleman. It is older energy. They may have lived through many lifetimes ago, not just this lifetime. So you have to look at the fact of energy. That's what king is. Page is technically younger energy that has not learned enough lessons in this lifetime. The lessons of past lives into moment of present. So the Page could be someone older that still hasn't learned their lessons, what their mission is, what their purpose is, why they are here, why they are human. They haven't learned their missions, their purpose. Now, King of Swords, you go through, and King of Swords is a good card. And balance, force, harmony, firmness. You see what I'm saying? It's a good card. It's solid. To the left is Queen of Coins. Coins is money. Coins can also be prosperous, Abundance doesn't just mean coins. Okay? Now, Queen of Coins is prosperity, well-being, wealth, abundance, generous security, a noble soul. So you have a king and a queen. He is balanced. She is a noble soul. Then the future. When you combine your present moment with your past moment, you are then creating your future. Your future is Page of Cups. And it's here because I saw it a second ago. Cups, 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 cups. Yeah. The next one, I'll just tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is, not why it is. Okay, so we got Page of Cups. We got Son of Water. What I just tell you, it's someone that's younger. A studious and intent person, reflective, meditative, loyal, willingness to offer services and efforts toward a specific goal. A helpful person, a trustworthy worker. Center. You, King of Swords. Your past, Queen of Coins. Your future, Page of Cups. With what you have gained, your energy, what will you do with this in your future? Your future is 1 minute from now, 1 second from now, another lifetime from now. Do you see what I'm saying? That's your future. No such thing as yesterday, no such thing as tomorrow. Only today is what counts in personal growth. Your other cards are from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Center is King of Pentacles. We have another king. You're balanced. Balanced in money. Your left is Ten of Swords. Now that's a whole nother ball game. I'll learn about that one in the future. Your right is the Magician. The Magician is, after the Fool's card of 0, you're now beginning to manifest. Number 1. You conjure. You manifest in what you create. It is the trilogy. The trilogy in the 4 quadrants of nutrition. Nutrition you put in your mind, nutrition you put in your body, nutrition you put in your emotion, nutrition you put in your spirit. That is the 4 quadrants. Now, I've given you a boatload of information that you need to, as in college, you leave the class. You go over your notes for 15 minutes. This in turn will then reiterate what you need to know. Now, it's 10% what you hear you will retain in your memory. I forget the amount of percentage. I should, but I do so much, you can't remember everything. So 10%, 90% makes 100. So you're getting maybe 30, 40% of what you see goes into your memory. So you got 10, say, plus 40 equals 50. You got another 50% of, is this creating your lifestyle that you were meant to create? Because your practical, down-to-earth common sense is your life path. That is your fate of what everybody else says, does, and thinks. These are the increments on that timeline, which is the ruler between the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you are creating your fate. You have to learn how to go through the portals by deciphering the coded messages through metaphors and symbologies. As you go through the portals, you are then in 5D 5th dimension. That is common knowledge. That is your soul path. You're learning how to go through the path. You do this as not a straight line. You do this through infinity. You are center point. You are creating. you are a 0. Now, years ago, when I was writing the book Fractalology, I have yet to put it in a pictograph into a picture book. And when time goes by and time permits, after I retire, I'll have more time to do these things I want to do, that I love doing. It's just there's only a certain amount of time in each day. Now, back then, I had drawn, this is the angel. Okay, so the angel carries the coded messages. This is the DNA. In the coded messages are from the universe, which is universe transform the creation of immortality. So you see these symbols? The symbols are, this is the symbol for Greek universe. This is the symbol for basic alchemy creation. This is the symbol for Greek immortality. Right here, the universe transforms creation of immortality. That's what this is. These are pictographs through the coded messages. Now, as the angel relates telepathically to the spirit, what its mission is in the year of 3050, universe 23, planet number 3, fractalology, it then takes on a new form. This is the angel. It is the different color spectrum. Now, as it goes through the portals into the year of 3050, it then goes into the tree. And this particular scene, this is Frixie. Frixie is a cross between a pixie and a fairy. This is the moment where Dad kisses Mom on the cheek, and Shawanisha is then created. That's why it's lit up. This soul is Yala, Y-A-L-A. Frixie is the guide for Shawanisha, the baby that is about to be born. Now, Yala is the power source in the book Infinity of Infinite Self. This is all the energy that radiates from the soul. Now, as you go through, it is holographical umbilical cord. It is the heart, the flying heart, with the 7 auric colors that radiate through the chakras. And as it does this, it is the micro into the macro, into the matrix. It is the fractals. Fractals are mathematical equations, self-similar, self-replicating. The micro in the macro, same as the particles, are part of the whole. The micro in the macro, in the matrix. The matrix is the whole. In 3D, third dimension, this is trilogy. When you go through the portals, you're going above, which is past the matrix. And as you begin to learn and understand, the micro and the macro in the matrix is technically brainwashing. It is the trilogy of who's in control. The higher-ups or you? Who's in control? You or your emotions? Who's in control? You or whatever else? You must learn how to enlighten your being. Low self-esteem, low self-worth, low self-respect creates low self-love. High self-esteem, high self-worth, high self-respect creates high self-love. When you live in the first chakra, depression, anxiety, fear, suicide, because you have yet to discover who you are. And you can do this through meditation. And in your meditation, you recite your affirmation. Now, as I create more blueprints, I am learning. And I have the blueprints for, this is the elements in Feng Shui. You see that? The elements are how it moves, air, earth, fire, water, wood, and how they regenerate each other. That is one blueprint of energy. Then you have more blueprints. This is what I've been working on for the last week. You have in tarot, you have this blueprint, which is air, earth, fire, water, wood. Air, north, earth, east, fire, south, water, west. As I'm still, it is, the coded messages are the keys, that are the questions, that are the particle. The equations are the door, that are the answers, that are the part. The enlightenment is the whole being. Now, as I'm going through each one, I'm creating more and more blueprints. The blueprints are in the dimensions of soul and so on. Then you have the geometric of 1 is self, 2 is second dimension. There, I got all the way to 9. When you put them together, you then start creating a blueprint of energy. And it is, cosmic consciousness is common knowledge. And this is as far as I got. I'm still working on it. And it's hard to see because you see in 3D, third dimension. But as I'm going through, I'm making a blueprint of energy from 5D, fifth dimension to 3D, third dimension. When you watch the movie, The Man That Knew Infinity, he is doing it through numbers, and it's a mathematical equation. I'm doing it through pictograph and chicken scratch. So I'm taking the numbers, putting it into pictures and numbers, pictures and words, alpha through numeric. You see, accounting, that is a term. You gotta know all your terms. Everyone has their own lingo in their own profession. Doctors have their own lingo. Lawyers have their own lingo. Everybody has their own lingo. So when the lingo is deciphered, you can have misinterpretations, misunderstandings, because you're doing it through thousands of years. As I'm doing this, I see how 3D, third dimension, interprets 5D, fifth dimension. And I'm bringing it down to make it easier for other beings to understand how to interpret the coded messages. It's actually quite fun. I work full time. I'm still healing from my last cancer. I've had 3 different types of cancers in this lifetime. As I'm doing this, it's getting closer to my goal. My goal was, when I'm 12, I wanted to read all the library books in the library. I wanted all the knowledge. In my 20s, I'm in college. I wanted to read all the library books in the world. I want all that knowledge. You having it, you have power for your being. You don't need to use it. You have it at your fingertips because you're creating your life. By having all this knowledge, I am rich beyond measure in knowledge. Intellect is learned behavioral patterns. I have a degree in behavioral science anthropology. Intellect is what you've been taught in your schools, parents, and everybody else. This is technically brainwashing. Brainwashing is they're teaching you what they have learned. They're not teaching you what you need. A parent will teach a child what love is through their perception. They're not teaching the child love what they need. As some parents say, do as I say, not as I do, because they themselves have not learned it in order to give it. Remember, the back of the body and the front of the body. The front of the body is for giving. The front of the body is for, giving. The back of the body is for receiving. How can you give what you yourself do not know? Until you know who you are, how can you know what anything else is? It's pretty simple. Until you learn who you are, how can you then teach someone what they need to know? That's how it works. It's pretty simple. As I'm doing this, I'm learning that, to me, one word makes perfect sense, but the word is in 5D fifth dimension. I have to bring it down to where other people understand my English, which is technically to them a foreign language, because I see it from a different dimension. And as I'm doing this, it's starting to sink in to other people because they're starting to become enlightened. You learn how to get out of the muck of life path and into your destiny of soul path. That's what life is all about. It's not about brains and bronze, bronze and brains. That is brainwashing. So get out of the muck and create a new motif, vegan lifestyle in plant-based foods. That is your first starting point. And life is love. Love is life. Blessings from Reverend Dr. Juanita Lewis, DDIV, PhD, Certified Reiki Practitioner, Certified Master Life Coach, HEB Doctor in Trilogy, and a cancer survivor. And thank you for your support.